Hi everyone, welcome to this, The Way of the Samurai Lesson 4. Now, as always, today we're going to be working from the Book of Samurai, which is the Secret Teachings of Natori Ryu. And we're going to be using the 1600 scroll, which is called Heika Jodan. Now, we're going to be on, we're going to be on page 21. Now this is the concept of Chūgi, so loyalty and justice. And it says there are aspects that a samurai should keep in mind, but these are difficult to demonstrate in practice. Loyalty and justice are not reserved for periods of war, but apply to all times. Now I want to talk about that. As a samurai, they used to have to deal with loyalty. Now I know that sounds quite straightforward, but it's not. Basically, loyalty normally is based on you getting money. People give service for money. Now we can't, even back in the days of the samurai, they were given money by the Lord. That's how it works, a feudal system. You're given land which produces money, and that means that you then owe service to the Lord. So it's an apex system where the man at the top gets everything and the rest of you have to go towards him. And that's how the structure works. When you take away the apex man at the top, everything crumbles away until another person takes leadership control. That is just how a feudal society exists. Now, what does this mean for me and you? Right, here I like the comment where it says, in war. It must not also be for times in peace and in war. What that means is that justice and loyalty and, loyalty to a lord is easy to give when everything is happy and nice. When it's all perfectly well, yeah, we're loyal, I'm having a great day. But the minute it becomes difficult for you, then you start to think, how much loyalty should I give? The true measure of a really, really loyal person is when everything's at its lowest, they still stand by you. Now, I'm going to borrow from Tanigawa Ha, a friend of mine, his school, and they call them battle brothers or dojo brothers. And the idea is that when people have been to war together, they have melded together, they have a special relationship. But if that person leaves you in the middle of war, say you're shooting, you've contacted the enemy, you're pinning them down, but it's getting too difficult, then your dojo brother or your battle brother stands up and runs and leaves you without, any sort of proper retreat or doesn't tell you, just goes. That's one of the worst things you can have because they've really, really, gone against the concept of Chūgi, loyalty. So again, back to how does this work for us? What it means is that for us in Natori Ryu, where does our loyalty lie? Well, first of all, it lies with the teachings. We have to follow the teachings. Then we have to be loyal to each other. And of course, at the top of the apex was where I stand, just simply because this is my project and I put this together and I am leading it. I am not better than anybody out there. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is basically, I've put it all together. I've constructed it, I'm leading you, this is where we're going, there we are. So what do I expect from you? I expect loyalty. But what do I mean by this? What I mean by that is that while everything's happy and everything's nice and we're all chatting, everything's well, that's not loyalty. Loyalty is when it's hitting a low spot. Or loyalty is like the guys, the admins out there who every day are slotting up information, keeping you going, keeping working. Even when it's really difficult, they're still putting the effort in and they're working. And the test of time will be in 10 years. If those admins are still doing it, then, that's pure loyalty. And they're loyal to the memory of Natori Masazumi. They're loyal to this concept and they're loyal following me. The problem is when you give up when it's difficult. If you give up when it's difficult, that's not loyalty. So for you guys, for every single student out there, what you have to do, if you're following what I'm doing here, you have to realize this point. One, I can never get every decision right. I am the decision maker here. And I have people around me, and I've put people around me who give me advice. Now my job is to think, where can we go with this? Now, if we don't do anything, nothing happens. People play on their Xboxes, people watch a football game, the end. But if we do it, we go somewhere, but there has to be decisions have to be made, which is my responsibility. I deal with that, so I make decisions. Now, your trust in me is that you hope I make about 8 correct decisions out of 10. If I'm making 8 correct decisions out of 10, I'm doing okay and I'm in the correct place. If I'm making 5 correct decisions out of 10, then it's a little bit, anybody could do that, it's just 50-50 chance. And if I'm making less than 5 out of 10 correct decisions, you shouldn't be following what I'm doing. So hopefully I'm getting lots of the decisions correct, which is, what I'm trying to do. But that means that if I'm listening to many people and there's many people around me, they're all giving me different advice. I have to sit back, look around and go, okay, that advice is correct. If 100%, let's say 10 people out of 10 people are giving me the same advice and it seems like the correct way, I should be doing it. And if I go against that, then there's something wrong. But if I'm getting multiple advice and I pick one piece of advice, then we have to work out if it was right or wrong. Now the idea is that you don't just leave your students. So if you're out there and you've got a dojo captain, or if you're following Natori Ryu and you think, I'm enjoying this, but this is going wrong, then you have to think, are the decisions being made to push us on in the right direction, or are the decisions being made to benefit one person, me or whoever's making that decision? I think in many other martial arts organisations that a lot of decisions are made to benefit the apex person, and I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to benefit the most amount of people. So how can I round this up? So basically, don't just spout the word loyalty, Chūgi. Don't be like, I loyalty and justice, that's what I do. No, you've got to stick by Natori Ryu. You've got to stick by for life. That's what we're doing. We're doing it. You want to be, again, to borrow from Tanigawa, they have recently had a student die there of cancer, and a few days before he died, they he came to train, and when he died, they got the ashes and they're taking it to their holy mountain where their master did a lot of stuff, and they're spreading his ashes there. He was there for life. 10 million points to that man. Even training before he was going to die, because he said, it's time to train, let's train. So, you guys, you've got to stick with me and stick with Natori Ryu all the way through. Or, no matter what else, if you've given your heart to something else as well, stick with that. And don't expect 100% correct decisions. Just make sure everything's on the right path. And even when it's at its lowest point and things are going wrong, or there's turmoil, or it's creating pressure for you internally, that's when you should knuckle down. That's when you should have Chūgi. It's in those really difficult times that you are tested. Natori Masazumi, so Toisui Sensei says, you test weapons with you test weapons with fire, but you test men with words. Now what this means is you've got to forge a good weapon, but when the time comes when a man is tested and that it's really difficult, he's under pressure, and you put difficult words on him, he'll break or snap. That's how you test a man. And you can test yourself by how well do you stick to things when times don't seem to be right. Right guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Subscribe and we'll keep going with the lessons of the samurai.